welcome back to another episode of The Summer of Me. I always feel like I want to start these episodes like, hello, welcome back. And then I'm like, sup, bitches? Let's talk. Let's get into the nitty gritty, the hot and the sexy. We're not talking about hot and sexy that much today, but I mean, it might come up. I don't know. Today's episode is called All About Me, and we are just talking all about me because I want you to start talking all about you and know about you and who you are and what you stand for and all these things. And so I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to share stuff about myself, not because you give two fucks, but because I want you to start thinking about how would I explain myself if this prompt came up, or how could I answer this, or do I know these things about myself? And so I'm going to kind of lead you through this process, but also hopefully inspire you to kind of learn a little bit about yourself. And you bet your bottom dollar I'm opening up my notes app because you guys know that I love a notes app. And so we're going to talk about all of the ways in which we should know ourselves. When I was married, I remember people asking me like, tell me about yourself. And I'm like, well, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and that was about it. I didn't have hobbies. I had friends, but they were all attached to my kids. I didn't have passions. I was just a human who existed to solve problems for other people. I get to exist and be who I am. And so we've talked about this a little bit on the podcast in the past, but I really want to dive into it today and challenge you guys to start figuring out who you are. And it's really like the whole premise of why I started The Summer of Me was like, I don't know who I am. So I'm going to spend an entire summer figuring that shit out. And I absolutely did. I figured out who I was. And then I was like, well, I know who this bitch is. And she does not belong here and now in this place with this spouse in this city and all of these things. And so that was kind of where my life basically imploded. And, here we are. It's been just a slow, steady eruption ever since. I talk to my friend Steph pretty much every day. And she's like, man, every day is something with you. Like it is just, we are LIVIN over here. So before we get really into the nitty gritty, I want to read you guys this quote. I'm a slut for Pinterest quotes. And I think that this really succinctly sums up what, just the message that I want to get across. And also, I talk a lot about my kind of tagline for The Summer of Me is walking each other home, resuscitating our identity. It is really hard to resuscitate anything that you don't know what it is. Think about if somebody's like, hey, there's a dead body and you have to resuscitate it. And you're like, where is it? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's somewhere. It might be an animal, might be you don't even know what you're resuscitating. And so it's really important to start figuring out who am I? What do I like? What makes me tick? What do I hate? All of these things that we just don't even know about ourselves so often because we're too busy figuring out every other problem for everybody else, whether it's our kids or our husband or, our work or whatever. And so I think that getting to know yourself a little bit is a really good exercise. Okay, here's the quote. Finding yourself is not really how it works. You aren't a $10 bill in last winter's coat pocket. You are also not lost. Your true self is right there, buried under cultural conditioning, other people's opinions, and inaccurate conclusions you drew as a kid that became your beliefs about who you are. Finding yourself is actually returning to yourself, an unlearning, an excavation, a remembering who you were before the world got its hands on you. I look back at my childhood and I'm like, shit, I used to paint. I was creative. I was really into music. I had all of these things that I loved. And actually, when I got divorced, the first thing that I did, we got our apartment. So we used to bird nest, which I talk about in a different episode, but we got our apartment in the city and it was the first time since my childhood. And it was the first time that I'd been alone. I'd lived alone in a space and I was like, wow, this is wild. And I went to the paint store, the art store, and I bought painting supplies because I was it was a return to self. I was like, oh my God, I used to love to paint. And it just flowed freely from me. And it was so powerful. The paintings probably turned out like shit. I don't even remember what I painted or where they are, but the exercise of doing something that served no purpose except for that, it was just who I was. I was created to create, really. That was that's always been my gift. And you just smash that stuff down and it's buried under all of these things. And I think that when we can kind of start to undo and excavate all of the things that lay on top of our passions and who we actually are, we can start to, instead of having them all be buried, we can start to weave them through our lives. I think I told you guys about this in a prior episode, but I did an internal family systems parts work therapy with my friend Erica, who's going to be on the podcast soon. And one of the things I said was you visualize all these things. It's this very deep exercise. And I had this vision of all of these, this big overflowing basket of ribbons and tulle and bows and all this just wild, chaotic kind of creative energy. and it was all smashed. Like everything was, there was like a suitcase on top of it and like a briefcase, like all this stuff that resembled different parts of my life that like I had to prioritize those. And so it's like really become like this exercise to instead of having to take all of those things off because they're part of my life too, my kids, my job, like my work, all this stuff. Instead of having to take them all off to uncover this like creative feminine energy about myself, let's figure out a way to make them so that this weaves through everything that I do. And I can really shine in like being creative while I'm working, being creative as a mother, being, chaotic and a free spirit and stuff like that in my work and in my friendships. And it just like that in and of itself was such a powerful exercise. So you kind of take all these things and put them together, and it's like you find your identity and you figure out who you are, and then you get to live wholly and freely in that space without feeling like I exist to prove, I exist to serve, I exist to make other people's lives easier. No, you get to fucking exist because God created you that way, and you are perfect and whole just as how you are, just as who you've been created to be. So I think it's really important. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to go through a list of all the things that I think like some check marks of like things that you should know about yourself. And I want you guys to start writing some of these things down. Stay tuned because I am really excited. It has to do with the Notes app, but something is coming for you guys because I talk about the notes so much on this podcast, and I want a way to kind of take that and put it in your hands. So take some notes for now, but stay tuned because this is going to get good. First things first, I have talked about this. You guys have probably heard me share my note, and I'm going to read some of it to you, but what do you love? I was asking a friend this the other day. I was on the phone with her, and I'm like, make a list of like 10 things that you love. The bar is so high, you guys. Like we think, oh, why? If I'm going to love something, it's got to be like, I love vacationing to seaside Florida with my family. No, you want to know? I'm going to read you some of the things that I love. This is a very important exercise. If you do nothing else from this podcast, I want you to make a note on your phone that says favorite things or / things I love. And you're going to start writing down these simple things, because what's going to happen, number one, is your brain is going to seek these things out in your day. It's going to be like, oh my God, I should add that to my list. And you're going to seek out these things that you've already written down. So it works both ways. And it's really like, it drops the threshold for enjoyment and gratitude and satisfaction to really, really small. Okay. Here's a few of my things. Putting on a cozy sweatshirt in the air conditioning, my greens in a cute cup, expensive sunglasses, getting kissed on the shoulder or anywhere, you heard, putting on a creative outfit, listening to my kids laugh, getting ready to go out, a cocktail on the patio, buttermilk ranch kitchen sink cookie, if you know, you know, walking through Home Goods alone, a Skims boyfriend tee, the Modern Proper cookbook, the Loser's patio at 2 p.m. These are simple things. Fruit Mentos. You guys, that costs 79 cents. You know what? I could take my ass to the buy right and get a packet of Fruit Mentos, and that shit would put a smile on my face. You have to know yourself. You have to know these little things. This is a powerful exercise because it challenges you to think like, what are the little things? Yes, we want to think about big things. Oh, the birth of my children. Oh, the marriage, this, that. No, like what are the little intricacies that make you like have, I think they call them glimmers, like just like make you feel good. Start a list. And like I add to this list all the time. Like I said, I'll seek these things out, or I'll like start keeping an eye out and be like, damn, I love when my puppy comes and kisses like my face when she wakes up in the morning. Or I love getting in my car and finding the perfect song and like just blasting, windows down, the sun is out, I'm blasting it and I am singing my guts out. Okay. These things feel good. And so it's really important. Take an inventory of the things in your life that make you feel good. That's it. They don't have to serve any other purpose than just like they give you this little tingly sensation in your body where you're like, this feels good. This actually feels really good. So number one, things I love / favorite things. Number two, things you hate. Now let's not spend too much time on this because I don't think that like emphasizing all the things you hate is a good thing. However, I think it's really important to know the things that I hate / the things that piss you off, because oftentimes the things that piss you off will point to your passions. They will point to the things that ignite you and they fire you up and they make you feel something visceral inside. And that's oftentimes a problem that you can solve. Okay. So for me, you want to know what pisses me off more than anything is when I have a woman who wants to do Arbonne, or she wants to come join a business, or she wants to bring in an extra stream of revenue. And she's like, well, my husband says I can't. Oh, does he? Does he say you can't? Really? I didn't realize when you married him, he became your fucking boss. I'm sorry. I love a traditional gender role, but you bet your butt. If that man tries to tell you, no, honey, you can't go out and build a business and make money, fuck off. Chad, fuck off. That shit pisses me off. So you know what I do? I talk about how to empower women. I share about business opportunities. I lead women. I encourage them to step outside of their comfort zone, to do something bigger than themselves, to make themselves in a crowd, to be challenge the societal norms of like, I'm just meant to stay home and be with my kids. Yeah, that's valuable and that's so important. But you know what else is? Building a community, leading other women, finding your purpose, bringing in an income. All of those things are powerful. I fucking hate when men tell women, you can't. Really? I can't? Watch me. Watch me. Oh, that shit pisses me off. You got to figure out what pisses you off. What do you hate? What makes you so mad that you want to solve the problem? Number 3. Things that feel easy to me. Sometimes we just think, oh, that's so easy to me. And you take it for granted, or you just like, whatever. Your passion and your gift likely point to your calling. I'm going to say that again. Your passion or your gift likely point to your calling. What are you really good at that you're not utilizing, that you're not taking advantage of, that you're not building upon? I think about Bellamy. Bellamy is my 11-year-old daughter, and she is genuinely so talented at like singing, songwriting, acting. She's just got this. She's just got it. Like the only way I can explain it is like, she's just got it. She has had it from the day she was born. When she was 2 years old, she was like singing Elsa, and like, she just is that kid. She wrote her first song. She's like sitting there. She got the lead role in the school play. It all feels very easy to her. She does it effortlessly. That's likely her calling, is in some way, shape, or form showing up on a stage somewhere. Bitch is not going to be the president, doesn't have an organized bone in her body, but guess what? She can sing beautifully. She can act effortlessly. She's starting to dive into songwriting because it's like the way her brain works, and she wants to talk about things, but she wants to write about them. She plays her guitar every night. Like, those things feel easy to her, and she's 11. She's not consciously being like, oh, I'm going to sit here and just like try to figure out how to sing. No, she's a songbird. Like, that stuff just comes out of her. Those things likely point to what her calling is. And I think that sometimes as women, we underestimate like, wow, this just feels so easy to me. I can make this incredible baked good, or I can decorate my home in this way, or I can organize my kids' schedule, or whatever. And you just like slough it off like, well, this is just, no, lean in, figure out what feels easy to you. And how can you, I don't want to say capitalize because it's not always about money, but how can you take that and build something from it? Even if it's just like for yourself, even if it's just like that, hey, this is what makes me feel really good. It feels really easy. I'm going to do more of it. For me, it's creating. I just like to create. I like to create beautiful things, whether it's in my home, whether it's in my kitchen, whether it's with my hands. Whether it's 5 children, I am a creator by nature, and that is what feels easy to me. It feels natural to me. So figure out what's easy for you. Love languages, okay? You guys have probably heard about this book. We've been smacked in the face with it. If you were in church at any point in your life, you've heard about the love languages, the 5 love languages: physical touch, quality time, gifts, acts of service, words of affirmation. Those are the 5 like basic love languages. You need to know, number 1, how you receive love, and number 2, how you give love. I think these are really important. This is kind of a no-brainer. If you haven't read the book, it's a quick, easy read, but there's probably a gazillion little tests you can take online. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to be like, damn, I love being touched. Don't fucking tell me how good I am at that, because it's actually patronizing. My love language is not words of affirmation. Don't pet me and tell me I'm pretty. Just pet me, honey. The next one might not be quite as obvious, but I think I've learned in my post-divorce life, like, this is really important. Attachment styles. There are 4 attachment styles: secure attachment, anxious attachment, dismissive avoidant, and fearful avoidant. Okay. If you are an anxiously attached person, I don't recommend getting in a relationship with an avoidant attachment person. It's rough. It's rough seas. The goal is that you become a securely attached person, which is, my value does not have anything to do with you. My worth, if this works out, great. If it doesn't, okay. Like, I'm still worthy. I'm still valuable. I don't need you to constantly give me validation and attention and all these things. Something that I'm working on very intentionally in therapy, and trying to like move away from anxiously attached, which I became anxiously attached in my last relationship. And so I'm really trying to like rewire my brain and take out some of those patterns and behaviors. There's a book called Attached. It's really a good read, and it will kind of help you to walk through. You might already be like, dude, I'm anxiously attached. Anxious is like fear of abandonment, need for constant validation, dependent on your partner for self-worth. Avoidant is like fear of rejection, hard time trusting and relying on partner, low self-esteem, commitment issues. And then securely attached is healthy boundaries, mutual trust and support, controlled conflict resolution. Obviously, we all want to be in a secured securely attached relationship. But it takes work. We all come from different backgrounds and different patterns. And again, like so often when we have these things that come up in our life, awareness is the first thing. Like if you have awareness of like, man, I'm anxiously attached and this is triggering me, you can get a lot further than being like, huh? What's an attachment style? I don't know what you're talking about. So figure out your attachment style, especially if you're dating. If you're already married, well, you're fucked. You're already in it. So I don't know what to tell you, but no, just kidding. Yeah, you can always work on it. But I think especially if you are somebody who's single and looking for relationships, or you're dating somebody, figure out, like look into it. Next is your motives, your intentions, and your whys. Why do you behave a certain way? Why do you want to work? Why do you want to bring in money? What is your motive in, creating a home? What is your motive in motherhood? What are your intentions? This is really vague, but I think that it's just worth noting. Like, why do I move the way I move? Why do I do the things I do? For me, my why, my motive is I want to buy a house, have my daughters get married in the backyard, have space to live. My motives are that I want to live a relaxing, full life after the age of 50. I want to just coast and exist and travel with my partner. And so I'm putting in the work. I'm doing the time. I'm working long hours so that I can make the money so that at 50 years old, book 'em Dano, I'm 50. I mean, let's say 40, honestly, but like that I want to just fucking enjoy the good life. I want to go out to dinner with my husband. I want to sit on the front porch and have a glass of champagne. I have all of these core dreams and things that I want to see happen in my life. And I've backwards designed my life to get to that place, right? And so I also like another motive is like, I want to lead women. I want to support and help women to get where they want to be, to get out of the thumbprint of an abusive partner or a partner who tells them they can't do something or doesn't believe and empower them, to financially be free from other people in your life, whether it's your parents or your spouse or whatever. Like these are all of my motives. My intentions are to help and to support and to empower and lead. Like these are things that are like in the core, deepest part of me. And it's what guides how I operate in every single situation. It guides how I parent my kids. It guides how I date and who I date, the way that I show up in my work and the way that I operate my business and the time that I put into those things. Listen, I could be like, you know what? I'm a corporate baddie. I'm going to work in corporate America for the next 63 years and then cash out into my 401k and just live that way. That's not the life I want. If that's the life you want, great. Your motives, your intentions, your day-to-day things, they're going to look different than mine. And that is great. That's fucking fantastic. That's what makes the world spin. You have to know what they are though. Like do not go freely just floating through this world. You could take it day by day. You really could. Like by all means, you can do that. However, you're going to get to a certain point where you're going to wake up and you're like, and I'm 70. And now what? Like I'm still working. I'm still doing the shit. I'm still living Groundhog's Day because you don't know what's next for you. What's your motive? Why are you doing the things you're doing? Like, is it for financial freedom? Is it so that you can give something freely away to your children? Is it so that you can prove something? Is it so that you can climb the corporate ladder? I don't know what it is for you. You need to figure it out. And then the last thing that I think that is really important to know about ourselves, and I really want you guys to figure out, and this is an exercise I recently did. I actually did this year in therapy. I read this book called Worthy. Jamie Kern Lima she's a founder. She founded It Cosmetics. It's like, I think it was purchased for $2 billion. She's incredible. And she writes this book about worthiness and like why, worthiness is important. And my whole life, I've always said like, I'm super confident. I am like, I can walk into a room of 60 women and feel really confident. I have never struggled with confidence. Like that's just not my sword to bear. However, confidence is very different than worthiness. Worthiness is the foundation. Confidence is the house built on top of the foundation. Well, you bet your ass my house is shaky as fuck because for the longest time, I felt confident but not worthy. They're two very different things. And this book goes into distinguish them. And it was such a powerful learning for me because I always was like, man, I feel confident, but like, why do I feel like nobody chooses me? And why do I feel like I don't deserve that guy or I don't deserve this attention or this effort or this, like it was like this wild dichotomy of feelings in my brain and I couldn't really like pinpoint why. And so when I read this book, I actually heard her on Jay Shetty's podcast and then she was talking about her book and I immediately ordered it. I was driving home from Steph's house in Georgia. I immediately ordered the book because I was like, holy shit, this is like mind blowing right now. Read the book. And one of the exercises that she has you do in the book, it's actually kind of like a workbook, reading book. It's called Worthy, is to make a list. And my therapist at the same time, we had kind of talked about it and she challenged me to do this as well. And it was like kind of a life-changing exercise is basically to make a list of all the things about yourself that you love and that make you worthy. And it can't have anything to do with other people. It can't have anything to do with what you do for other people. So when I originally did this in therapy, I was like, well, I was a great wife. I'm an amazing mom. I love the people in my life. I am serve the people. Everything was about the other people, like everything. And she's like, what about you? Like, what do you love about Kendra? Like if you were to like look at you on a platform or a stage and you'll be like, what do I love about that? Like take your, almost objectify yourself and be like, what do I love about this rock? Well, it's purple. I'm looking at this crystal for my friend Rachel. It's purple and it's shiny and like all these things. That rock might have a purpose of, I don't know how fucking crystals work, something about the moon or whatever. That rock's purpose is great, but like that's not what I love about it, right? It might be one small thing, but like there's so many other things to love about it. So I made this list and I'm going to read it to you guys. I've printed this out. I have posted it. I've kept it on my phone. I read this list constantly to reaffirm and convince myself that I am worthy. Like these are all things that I offer just because of who I am, just as I exist, not because I'm serving, not because I'm doing. This is just who I am. I offer all of these things to the people in my life. And wow, how fucking great is that? This is not like an egotistical, like this is an exercise in feeling worthy, because when you feel worthy, you will go out and seek the things that you actually deserve versus feeling like you undercut yourself or you undermine or you shortchange yourself because it's like, well, I'm not worth it. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth somebody coming to see me. I'm not worth somebody pursuing me. I'm not worth, this job or this opportunity. So here's my list. I'm creative. I'm thoughtful. I'm empathetic. I go out of my way for the people I love. I'm funny. I'm loyal. I'm positive. I'm optimistic. I'm driven. I work hard. I can have a good time anywhere. I'm peaceful. I'm cozy. I'm a great cook. I celebrate with people. I'm willing to go deep in conversation with people. I'm self-aware. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm forgiving. I'm bright and joyful. I love hard. I have a big heart and I'm inspiring. It is even uncomfortable to read that to you guys. And it takes so much time and so much intentionality to feel comfortable with that. Those are all things I am. I could tell you, if I disassociate, I could tell you, I am all of those things. I wrote that list. I know myself. I know myself better than anybody. But man, saying those things out loud and actually believing those things about myself and actually accepting those things about myself so that I can then go forward with the worth that I have is really fucking hard. So I want you guys to do this list. I want you to sit down and I want you to make a list of all the things that make you worthy, not the things that you do to prove your worthiness or to earn it. These are just things that you are. You already are these things. And it's so hard to come up with this list. But man, when you do, I want you to repeat it. I want you to reread it. I want you to post it. I want you to print it out. I want you to see it and believe it every single day. Because when we start to know ourselves, when we start to learn about ourselves, we can love ourselves. And when we can love ourselves, we can go forth and do important, powerful things in the world that maybe we otherwise wouldn't have, because we're too busy over here like stifling our desires and stifling our dreams and sitting on top of our passions and just not being able to operate as a whole, beautiful human as we were created. So anyways, today is all about me, but it's also all about you. I'm so grateful that you guys listened. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you got something out of it and that you can start to learn about yourself, love yourself, and be who you were created to be. Thanks for listening to The Summer of Me. You can listen to episodes on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube. Come hang out and follow my chaos on Instagram @KendraForNow. See you next time.